Hello and welcome to Real to Real. Outreach to youth was the theme for two recent events as hundreds of teenagers gathered for workshops, prayer, and a little bit of fun recently. Young parishioners from across the diocese participated in the two afternoon gatherings that were sponsored by the Diocesan Office of Faith Formation. Terry Hegarty reports now about the Youth Day in Pittsfield, held for Berkshire area teens, and the subsequent gathering in Westfield for those from the greater Springfield area.
It was a day for youth and a day for faith. Well, it was actually 2 days, one for Berkshire area youths and one for those in the Springfield area. At St. Joseph Parish in Pittsfield late last month, more than 250 participated in a diocesan-sponsored Youth Day. John Stinson says the day was enjoyable, and he learned some very important things in the workshop that was given by Father Chris Malatesta, focusing on the Catholic Mass.
I think that I should look more deeply into the Mass rather than being there. He said that the people who are doing the Mass, like the priests and stuff like that, they're part of the church, but it's also the people in the pews and stuff. They're also part of the church. They're not just the listeners. They should also be as active.
A variety of workshops were offered when participants weren't competing to build the largest paper tower, that is. Matthew Weber, who's not too far removed from being a teen himself, was the keynote speaker for each of the days. Matthew is not only a speaker, but is a producer for Catholic TV and recently authored the book Fearing the Stigmata. He kept the youths informed, involved, and entertained.
I want you to check all my facts and figures today. Okay, good. So there's 168 hours a week. We spend 1 hour in church.
Sister Paula Robillard says these gatherings are very enjoyable for youths and adults.
I'm always excited to have people understand that catechesis isn't just for children, that it's a lifelong process, and certainly in that lifelong process, those years called adolescence are of utmost importance.
Many said that being part of a big group was helpful.
I more like big groups than small groups because I like to hear what other people think, and when other people pray about stuff, it sort of reminds me that I can pray about that too. If I'm having a tough time and I forget something and they pray about it, then it's better because now I can pray for them and they can pray for me.
It is literally always a joy whenever I have a chance to chat with the youth of the Catholic faith.
Matthew is the son of Real to Real producer Peggy Weber. He says that teens especially need to know that being faithful is not always easy.
It's kind of reminding them to think about that, reminding young people that being Catholic, being religious in these days, it's tough, and that to know it's hard and to know how to get through the difficulties of that, I think will be important to let people at 14, 15, 16, 17 years old know that, so that when they hit these challenges in the future, they'll know how to handle them.
Both the teens and adults closed the day in Pittsfield with prayer as they celebrated Mass with Bishop McDonald in St. Joseph Church. Following the day in Pittsfield, a similar opportunity was made available to teens here in Westfield at St. Mary Parish, where more than 200 from the greater Springfield area gathered together for the day. Emily Quirk says that Matthew's presentation in Westfield was very engaging.
I was surprised he was able to make the whole, topic so interesting. He was so bubbly about it, and it actually sometimes it can be a dry topic, but he made it so lively, and a lot of people really engaged in it.
Getting youths engaged in the Youth Day is now an annual effort designed to keep teens learning about their faith.
Their faith is definitely reinforced, not only by the workshops, but by the people that are here, by being together with Bishop McDonald for liturgy, by their parish priests who's come to join with them, by the DREs and the catechists from their parish.
Matthew reinforced the idea that the teens should continue to practice their faith throughout their lives.
There's not a certain age when you stop being Catholic, or when you have to start being Catholic again when your hair turns gray. That there's this big gap between 18 and 70 where no one's religious, but you're religious when you're young and you're religious when you're old. I'm saying being religious continually your entire life, after your parents stop forcing you to go to church, after you go to a public college, it's still something that's really meaningful and still something that's very important for your happiness.
Many participants say that they will encourage their peers to come to future Youth Days.
I would tell them that it was a great experience and it was fun, and you get to meet new people that are your age and that think the same way you do and have the same beliefs as you.
Yeah, this is my first year being here, and I'm going to have to convince my friends to come back because I really enjoyed this, and it was a lot of fun.
That fun is open to all youth in the diocese. Sister Paula says she's looking forward to even greater participation as the years go on. Reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.